It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we have a beer from Brooklyn Brewery. There's been quite a few releases as of March 2025 into Tesco. This is a lager from them. When I say releases, Brooklyn releases. So they've brought out a Sriracha Ace. We've had an IPA, which was really good as well. Now we have this, today's beer is Playa de Brooklyn, their lime lager, 440 millilitres, described as bright, juicy and fresh. Heading into the summer months, next week is the start of British summertime. The lights and the nights, they light till 8:30 now in the summer, so it's time. We're starting to edge into kind of lager time, aren't we? So yeah, a new lager from Brooklyn, which they specialise in. They do specialise in lager. Brooklyn Lager is their staple beer. They put a big push into Brooklyn Pilsner. Now we have a lime lager, a Mexican style lime lager. So these beers launched into Tesco. They launched in at £3 a can. Some of the double IPAs are £3.50 to £4 a can, but you can pick them up on a 4 for 3 deal. 4 beers for the price of 3. So that knocks it, if this was £3, that probably knocks 75 pence off it. It does, yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, £1.50 is 2.75. Yeah. So it'll cost you £2.25 on a deal, this. So what do we have in the glass then? We got a 2-finger Whitehead. Good levels of carbonation. Slightly hazy looking beer. Definitely looks like a lager, doesn't it? I believe a lot of their beers are brewed in Sweden. A lot of the European beers are brewed in Sweden, I think. We'll come to that in a moment. Let's concentrate on the beer. I've fallen into this habit of, I always promised myself I'd always talk about the beer first, and I've fallen into this habit of like talking about lots of other things before I talk about the beer. And I'm trying to get back to it. So let's get back to it. Aroma. Whoa, very quite limey. I'm picking up Pilsner malt. I'm definitely picking up the malt, which I'm very pleased about. I didn't want it just to be about lime. That for me it infuriates me. When we're just talking about lime in a lager, we need to be talking about the malt too, that crisp Pilsner malt. There is a little bit of wafer biscuitiness in it, which I'm very happy about. But other than that, it's quite a dominant lime aroma. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. I always find it quite interesting. If you want to, it's a bit like stout people drinking stout. I was speaking to a guy last night who he says he puts a drop of black currant in his stout. Fair enough, that's how he likes it. My wife used to always have a bottle of lime cordial with her if we were having a beer, and she'd always put a little bit of lime cordial in the lager, and that's fine too if you want to do that. And I suppose it's fine if you want to buy the beer because it's got lime in it, but For me, you could do this with a Madry. You really could. You could you could buy a cheaper can of Madry. Buying this for £3, I think it's a tall order. It's a real tall order. For me to stand here and say it's good value for money, I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to do that at £2.25 on a 4 for 3 deal either, really, because I don't know, what can you pick up a few cans of Madry for? I don't really buy Madry, so probably just over £1 a tin, £1 a can maybe for Madry. Maybe £5 for 4 cans, £1.25 a can. Cheap bottle of lime cordial, 90p, £1 max. And the lime cordial is going to last probably a good few weeks if you drink most weekends. You know, it's not like you need to buy the lime cordial all the time either. I just find this sort of thing unimaginative and not craft. It's definitely not craft. There might be a few of you out there shaking their heads, kind of like, oh, loving this beer. I kind of call it lazy brewing. I see it as lazy brewing. I see it as not just lazy brewing, but a way of charging £2.25, £3 a can on its own for something you can do yourself for, even if a Madry was £1. And I'm using Madry as an example. Use whatever lager you want. I'm using Madry as an example. Even if the Madry was £1.25 a can, you could smack some lime in there for 5p. You're talking £1.30. You're talking almost kind of like double the price for something that's been kind of almost pre-mixed for you. You can't really get to the quality of the lager. You can't really get to the lager because of the amount of lime in the beer. And this whole thing with lime anyway is just, you put it on the side of the glass in Mexico to keep the flies away from your beer. The Mexicans, okay, it's almost like lost in translation. People, oh, the Mexicans pour a load of lime in their beer. They don't. The Mexicans don't pour a load of lime in their beer. They put a lime in the top of a bottle of Corona just to keep the flies away. That's all it's for. Fruit flies or whatever, you know, it's like, ironically. Whether you're enjoying the beach heat or lying on concrete, Playa de Brooklyn brings the summer vibes anywhere. Any time with this refreshing lime twisted lager. It's lazy brewing for me. It's been brewed in Stockholm in Sweden. Brooklyn got a brewery out there in Stockholm in Sweden, and it's been imported by our good friends Carlsberg Marston's. I hate saying out those two words now. Carlsberg Marston's. Ugh. Rating. There's nothing wrong with the beer if you like a lime lager. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But my point is here that you could do it yourself for a lot cheaper. It's not very imaginative. It's not very craft beer. It's a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.